What's good, and welcome back for another session. Let me just first of all start off by pointing out, can we all just appreciate how beautiful the card art on this unit is? I absolutely love it, and I'm super glad the Extreme Z Awaken happened. Now, this will be a relatively short video, but I did have some prior recordings on the Cell version stage of the Ultimate Red Zone event. However, because of the newly released additional 2 stages with the androids and also the first form Cell, I figured it'd be a good opportunity to test out this unit and just retest it through the latest events. So that is basically the overall footage available in this video, but high level, I think more or less this guy does the best depending on the greater the HP levels built in the skill sets, but also again against the android category enemies, but in particular against the Cell units. Now, the other thing to note is this guy can be a little bit of a defensive liability risk pre-super attack, but once he activates the super attack or whatnot, the skill sets really kick in, and you can kind of navigate through it pretty. I wouldn't say easily, but it's a usable enough unit on this type of event. So again, this is the 2 new stages that were recently added on JP. But again, let me just go ahead and highlight some of the skill sets on this unit with the Extreme Z Awakening. So with the super attack, the built-in skill set for this guy is greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to enemy, and seals super attack. So with the potential system levels, I think I went with kind of a spread across the board where I built in some additionals, and you know, even though this guy gets guaranteed criticals against the android category enemies, I still kind of applied some critical hits levels toward that. I think evasion I kind of kept it at level 5, but worked on additional I think super attack and against type advantage type enemy skill orbs type of deal. So that is pretty much the route I went with. Now, in terms of the passive skill, again, in addition to the key +2 and base attack and defense increase of 150%, you do get an additional attack and defense boost up to 150% depending on the HP level. So the higher the HP, the greater the stat boost for this unit. In addition to that, you do get an attack and defense increase of 50% after performing a super attack. So again, a little bit of a defensive risk pre-super attack, but once that kicks in, you do get that extra defense increase of 50%. You also get that medium chance of performing a critical hit and launches an additional attack that's got a medium chance to become a super when HP is 50% or more. So it kind of correlates with the, the greater the HP, the greater the attack and defense boost. Now, when you're attacking android category enemies, you do get the guaranteed critical hit. So, this unit is very specifically meant to be, ran on events against androids or cell type units. So applying critical hit levels in addition to that might be overkill because it's specifically meant to be ran against androids and cell type units. And lastly, on the passive skill, you've got the ability to launch an additional super attack when there's a cell type enemy. Of course, it excludes the cell juniors or whatnot, but I think overall, my biggest intrigue about this unit has always been, again, like I said at the very beginning, how beautiful the card art itself is. I think it's one of the best in the games, personally, from a card art standpoint. And then, obviously with the Extreme Z Awakening, this guy was, buffed up enough to be, be able to be ran on the latest Ultimate Red Zone events, which is the Android / Future Saga. So, like I said, I did have prior recordings available that I thought about using for this unit showcase, after the EZA was released, but I figured it would be better off just testing this unit out on the latest 2 additional stages that were recently added on JP, because it does kind of relate to the overall skill set built into this unit. So again, I think when it comes to certain units like this one and the Intelligence Super Saiyan Bardock that I recently showcased, they're very specific in terms of what they're meant to be ran on in terms of events and so on. So I think it's okay to have batch of units that are associated with very strategic, I guess, skill sets built in. But of course, as long as we have a standardized, batch of also, newly released units that are good across the board, I think it's okay to have a diverse kind of unit availability like that. So that's my overall thoughts on it. I don't think this is a necessarily fantastic unit, but it's not a terrible unit by any means either. So that's my takeaway, and I think it's more than good enough for this guy's Extreme Z Awakening. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed the quick highlighted showcase, and again, as always, thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. Alright, I'll see you guys later.